travel to parallel worlds. The same year, the same Earth, only different dimensions. A world where the Russians rule America. Or where your dreams of being a superstar came true. Or where San Francisco was a maximum security prison. My friends and I found the gateway. Now the problem is finding a way back home.
Well, hello and welcome to another review. So let's go. So this one is quite personal to me. I can't put this in Could Have Been a Classic. It ran for 5 seasons, even though it did get cancelled after season 3. And we know what the series is. Sliders came out in 1995 and ran till 99. I didn't get to see the later seasons until quite a few years later. I sort of missed them, so I'd caught up with season 3. Now it's an interesting one because Sliders, I think the pilot episode is one of the best pilot episodes of any TV series. It really went into the whole the characters and how he discovered the portal. He was trying to, Quinn Mallory, trying to create a anti-gravity device, and it, you know, he opens up the Einstein-Rosenthal bridge, or the doorway, or the wormhole. And it's quite a nice hour-and-a-half episode, and how everybody comes together, and he meets his counterpart, who gives him the final equation to travel between parallel worlds. He goes off, he jumps through, he ends up in another world where Elvis is alive. He comes back, he hadn't figured it out that he went to another world, so it were all a bit odd, because this world, first world he goes to, like, red means green means stop, red means go. It's like subtle differences, and he can't get his head round. And when he comes back, his counterpart has been interfering in his life, and it was quite funny. And he turns up and he has to, you know, deal with all these mistakes. And there's some great characters. I like Benish. He's this like metalhead genius in pilot episode. He sort of pops up 1 or 2 episodes, then they sort of vanquished his character. So in first season, we've got Arturo, John Rhys Davies. Great, I mean, he just made this for me. The beautiful Sabrina Lloyd, and Cleveland Derricks as the crying man, and it's fantastic. Well, they all go around to his house because he apparently his counterpart is Arturo, John Rhys Davies, is a physics teacher, and he must have insulted him, and he goes round to get an apology. He turns up with Sabrina Lloyd, you know, her character, and he takes them downstairs and he explains to them that he has opened a doorway into other universes, well, parallel worlds, and he's not having it, Arturo, and then he switches it on, and like Arturo's character is just stunned at what he's saying, and they end up going through, you know, I don't really like they go through, and when he jumps through, they end up in this, like, well, they turn power up on the device because his counterpart said something to him, but he got sucked through his own vortex. He warned him about something. We're getting into this because apparently you've got to keep, it's like you keep your lock where you come from, and it's like an infinite roulette wheel of just infinite worlds, you know, running side by side, but you don't know where you end up. There's no control of how you're going to get there, and they go through and they end up in Ice World, and they end up in a world where it's like frozen over, and they've got 5 hours to stay in this until they can get back. And you've got to use the timer when it tells you to use it, or you're going to end up trapped somewhere for 29 years, or end up somewhere you don't want to be, I think. So John Rhys David Atoro's character said when they were travelling through Vortex, he said, I saw God driving a Cadillac, which was quite funny how we put it. Well, when they bamped the power up before they went through, this vortex went through the house, floated down the street, and sucked Crying Man, Cleveland Derrick's character, into the vortex, and that's how it all starts. And then they jump to another world where they think they've got home, and it's run by Russia. Like in their world, Russia's won the Cold War and took over the world, which is sort of interesting. You're seeing all these, because it's all set up in, like the homeless guy in the park is now, he's like going on about communism and that. He's now like a senator in like American Russia. You know, this like world, and it's sort of really into all these characters, like his boss in computer stores, the right little tosser. He's got like, he's like a snivelly little sort of creep in the resistance, and we go through all this, and it's quite an action-packed episode. First half an hour at pilot, first 40 minutes, it's all about getting to know these characters. What I really enjoy about this. And then next like 40 minutes is really action packed, and then they slide out. But they think they get home, and obviously Quinn's dad walks in. His dad's died in his world, and that's it. And then every week they end up in different scenarios in different worlds. And there's some great concepts in this series. Like there's one world where women dominate. There's men. There's one world where there's hardly any men, and you know, men they're having to repopulate the race. About some Y-chromes that got wiped out. They go to Mystic World. There's one where you win a lottery. If you take loads of money, suddenly you're up for dying in this lottery. You're chosen to die, but in this one it's like a big honour, you know. And they're constantly moving across in season 1. It's like in season 1 and 2, really, it's like it's always they end up in a world of what ifs. And that's what I loved about this, because this programme, I know a lot of people are going on about today, a lot of stuff is too PC, you know, and it's in your face a bit, and I'm sort of half and half on that myself. I find that some stuff can be a bit, you know, in your face. But what I liked about Sliders, they could take these concepts and put like something really cool to it. That when you go through, they can take a political situation or a scenario. It's like there's one episode where they got a well-known, everybody wears lion collars. Do you know what I mean? You see this in like the beginning of an episode where they get out of there, and every time you lie, you get an electric shock. And there's these like there's like corporate world where everybody just shops and works and shops. And there's all these like crazy places. Now season 1 and 2 I think are the best. You know, I really do. And I think the casting in this series is exemplary. Then we get to season 3. Now first 2 seasons are only like 12 episodes, or 10 or 12 episodes. I think the second season's like 13 episodes. And I think the first was only 10. So they were experimenting to see if it could get out there. Then we got into season 3, and there's some good episodes in there, and then they get to the episode where Where comes it into the 2-parter where they go to her world, and you've got, you're not going to believe this, they've got Roger Daltrey from The Who as this Colonel Rickman who's going round, something happened to him in some war or something, and he's going around stealing the fluid from the spine, pouring it into himself, and he takes the form on slightly to keep him alive, but unfortunately he's having to kill all the time to keep surviving, and people keep dying on this base. Well, they end up in this situation where as a pulsar coming to Earth, and they think Russia's going to get wiped out, but it's apparently got the calculations wrong. It's going to wipe out the entire planet. And they are experimenting with sliding technology, and they come to an arrangement that they're going to take the best of the best, get out, jump, and start looking around for wells. And there is, I wonder if this is a tribute to Land of the Giants, because they end up jumping to one world looking for it, and they're in a world full of giants, so you don't know, do you? Because I always thought Land of Giants, they went to a parallel, you know, accidentally slid across to a parallel universe, like sliders. It does make you wonder that, and I always thought, is that a sneaky tribute? And in comes Carrie Wurra. Now, what happens is, Arturo, he gets killed because he's terminally ill. They kill his character off, and in came Carrie Wurra. Now, I think Carrie Wurra is a marvellous actress. I really do. I'm a big fan. She's done a lot of cult films and that, and she is a good actress. But the series started slowly deteriorating in season 3. They spend about 5 or 6 episodes after Rickman sliding across dimensions for him. Now, they can return back to the world where all these people went. They can return to that, but they need to get his times. I think they've got the location for Earth Prime on it, and they chased him about, and they got another actor in to replace Roger Daltrey. I quite like Roger Daltrey in it. He's really playing a fanatic. He's a bit, well, his acting is a bit over the top with some stuff in it, but I suppose that's the appeal of it. But to lose John Rhys Davies was a bad thing. Well, apparently some called Dave Peckinpah came in and started taking charge at series, and there's loads of stories about why he left. I'm not going to go into that because there's enough stuff out there about it. And Sabrina Lloyd didn't get on with Carrie Wurra, Maggie Beckett, you know. Apparently there were things said and all this. And they started changing the cast, so they killed John Rhys Davies, which was a big mistake. Because from the first and second season, and so far into the third season, it really worked beautifully. Now, Carrie Wurra, I thought she was a good addition to the team. You know, for me, I did like Maggie Beckett's character. A lot of people didn't, but I did. I sort of liked the character. But to lose an actor of John Rhys Davies' calibre is just unforgivable. And the series started turning a bit, well, it started getting a bit shit, you know, after that. So we moved into, like, they brought in, like, a protagonist as well. They don't really come into it till about the 4th season. You know, the protagonist, the Cro-Mags. Now, I don't know what to make of Cro-Mags. They came from some kind of Earth where they were very advanced. They shared the Earth with the humans, but they didn't get on. There was some big war over the planet, and the humans created a device that sterilised the Cro-Mags and then got them off the planet somehow. They slid them all off the planet and set up a shield around the planet so they can't get in. And this is where continuity starts losing this, because this war must have happened within the last 3 seasons, because it ends up the first Quinn, our Quinn met, he gave the Cro-Mags sliding technology, which didn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Because all this was done in 3 years, or 4 years. I mean, I don't know if anybody knows about this, let me know. But he apparently gave the Cro-Mags sliding technology. Well, they freaked out, didn't Cro-Mags? They found out that in every parallel universe that human beings dominated, and they were quite unique. But in the 4th season, you do come across another planet with the odd Cro-Mags where they are with red, but they're sort of like on verge of extinction, or they're being treated quite badly. But the Cro-Mags have conquered vast parallel universes, but they can't breed, so they start breeding with humans, create Humags. Yeah, Humags. I mean, I'm being serious. They're like somewhat like Neanderthal man, but they're really advanced. I think they have mind powers or something. And well, the Cro-Mags are all right. In the second season, episode 12, they're all right. They tried to make them a bit misty, and they're evil and malevolent and that. And then by the time we get into the 4th season, to see Cro-Mags are like Nazis. They're all walking around in uniforms and this, which I thought, well, these Cro-Mags are totally different to them. So, you know, they're really fucking this series up. Now, I did like the Cro-Mags in the 4th season, as cheesy as they were. I suppose they were gonna bring in a big protagonist of conquering dimensions and sliding, which I ain't got a problem with that, but get it done right. But yeah, the Cro-Mags are trying to get back to Earth Prime. Well, it ends up where they come back to Earth Prime. It's been conquered by Cro-Mags this summer. And, well, before this, Sabrina Lloyd, Wade, and Crying Man, Clive and Derek's character, end up, they go off back to Earth Prime and apparently get a life together. And because Maggie can't go to ours, she can't breathe our atmosphere or something. There's something in our atmosphere which affects her from her Earth. And they just keep sliding, and they end up back on Earth Prime, and Cro-Mags have conquered it. Now, this is what really pissed me off with this, because writing... Now, Sabrina Lloyd had left after she'd walked. Because of what were going on set, and producers John Rhys Davies had gone. So we had Crying Man, Quinn and Maggie, right? We had them. And that it's like, what's going on here? So when they get back to Earth Prime, Wade Wells has been like taken by Cro-Mags and conquered our world and put in a breeding camp. And I thought, you can't write her character off like that. That she's in a camp where she has to breed. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? So we get through 4th season. I mean, this is another thing, because when he gets back to Earth Prime, finds his mother, it all comes out that Quinn Mallory, right, he's not from there. He's got a brother, right, a long lost brother, who ends up living on another world, where his parents came from this planet of where the Cro-Mags come from, drop the kids off it. It's like Superman and Krypton, you know, dropping kids, and they go back, and they're the ones that create this technology to get the Cro-Mags out and not slide the geniuses. And they put the 2 children on these 2 wells, but the parents did turn up after Cro-Mag war, but his foster mother lied to him, and that was it. And I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. So now he's got a long lost brother. Now his brother, this is his proper brother, you know. So I'm thinking, yeah, he's not. They're both good actors, you know. So we get his brother. He's living in Amish world, and they all start. There's Maggie Beckett, Crying Man, and you've got Crying Man and Quinn Mallory and his brother, and they start travelling around all these worlds. And yeah, you get some episodes that are pretty decent in season 4, don't get me wrong. And then they end up in, oh God, season 5, which is absolutely terrible, is season 5. Well, it ends up, because like Jerry O'Connell's left, because apparently there were some issues about producer credit. And I mean, there seems to be a lot of stuff going on in the background of this. So he leaves. His brother has gone as well. So they've got like Crying Man, you've got Remy, who's Crying Man, and Maggie Beckett. And what happens when they're travelling through, so they met this protagonist who's got this weird agenda with like replica or sliding from what I can remember of it. And so his brother gets lost in Vortex, he's gone, right? And something happens to Quinn Mallory and he gets merged with something else, and they merge into one entity through this evil scientist guy who's got this agenda. And in comes Tem Billock then, she's the new one at Travel. Now Tem Billock's a great actress. I'm not knocking the actress, they're getting paid to do a job, but it's the storylines just got diabolical. So they got rid of Quinn, he left, Jerry O'Connell, he went to set movies, didn't he? So we've got this dude called Mallory now, and they're all running about with Timer, just sliding around, trying to find a weapon to get the Cro-Mags off our Earth, right, or Earth Prime, and to get home as well, to, you know. But they got this new dude who's meant to be Jerry O'Connell. Yeah, this is where you're like giving up with this. Now, I stuck it out. Now, so we keep jumping, and they're going from place to place. You're getting a few, there's one or two decent stories, but season 5 is shit, right? And it is, right? It is awful. So we get to end at series, right? An episode called The Seer, where they're all waiting for him because this guy can see future or something. And there was some Cro-Mag thing going on there. Well, but there's some virus that can get rid of them. And when they get there, right, so they're trying to get out of all this Cro-Mag technology. Now, I'm not sure this is his parents, you know, like his parents for this. I'm not sure of this, but it might have been another, so I don't know. Right, I mean, I'll leave it to you guys. So we get into this whole thing with Cro-Mags, right? Right, well, Cro-Mags have been and gone. Sorry, I'm going back on myself. So got the saying, he can see different timeline in the future and all this. And they've got a virus that can kill Cro-Mags. There is another episode further down the line, going back, where they find a weapon, but it's too dangerous because to use it to kill Cro-Mags off, it can destroy a planet's environment, so they can't use that. It's in one episode. But anyway, it's the final episode, there's this like virus that can kill Cro-Mags, and Remy injects himself, and they all jump off the planet. But he goes back to Earth Prime because he's got all this, you know, like germ thing, and it's going to kill Cro-Mags on his world. So obviously, if he goes back, he's like patient zero. And he goes back, and that's basically the end of Sliders. It got cancelled. Now, the problem with Sliders, the first two seasons is Tracy Tom, who works on Next Gen, and he was good friends with Roddenberry and all this. So, like, he had it like a connection to parallel thing. I thought, you know, what they created, Sliders, season 1 and 2 is a masterpiece of television. And if you go into the later 3 seasons, there is some episodes in there that are very good, which you could pull out. I should write a list out and put it underneath which of the episodes to avoid and to watch. Now, to pull out the decent episodes, you could have just add them on. Now, the problem with Sliders was the writing. Started off with 4 people cruising the multiverse in parallel universes, going to worlds where what ifs. Now, I never had a problem with the Cro-Mags if they got them right. I think they sort of tried to get them right. But somewhere in continuity, they lost some. Now what happens is, the writing came ridiculous. It all came out of that. Quinn didn't come from Earth Prime. His parents came from Cro-Mag Prime, where they created all the super technology to get rid of Cro-Mags. And so, like, and then he had a brother, and then his brother gets lost in Vortex, which, why did they bother even finding his brother? They killed off, you know, John Rhys-Davies' character, Atora, who were just excellent in this. He was like the moral compass of them all. You know, Remy and Sabrina, you know, Wade's character, they were like the everyday people, and Q-Ball, he was like the genius, you know, Quinn Mallory, and they were all travelling about, and it worked so well. Even with Maggie Beckett, it worked. But you know, even with her, but the writing for I'd say at least 40, I'd say 55% of this TV series just lost it. They tried to, I think they were trying to like recreate it somehow to get some kind of story arc in. The story arc is simple. The story arc is really simple. He creates an interdimensional device. They travel, something happens, they can't get back. They have to go through infinite universes to get back, right? Then they come into the Cro-Mag situation, second season in, and there's some situation where they're conquering different dimensions, right? So you've got your series protagonist, and then you could bring in like another series villain who's a slider as well, who's got his own agenda. And you could have all this, and in this they're exploring the what if scenario of trying to get back home. You know, there were no need to have suddenly he didn't come from our Earth, and then his brother came somewhere else, and then they lost him in the vortex, and then they kill off, so they get rid of. I mean, the writings for Wade Wells to end up in a breeding camp on the Cro-Mag breeding planet is just ridiculous. And then to kill off, like I said, the Toro, you just don't do this. I mean, the writing, it was diabolical. Now, I know Fox have a lot to answer for this because they tried to control it. But the concepts of Sliders, the first, it's just what if? We go to this world and there's something slightly different. Elvis is still alive. The Nazis have took over. You know, we went to Mars. You know what I mean? We had alien contact. You know, these different scenarios. They could end up in Area 51 in one episode. There could be a government where they're messing about with sliding project. And sliders, you know, it's endless stuff what they can do. But I mean, I do love Sliders. I mean, you know, I have got it all on DVD because I stayed loyal to it because, but season 5 just shot it in the foot where they went. Now, I know Jerry Connell left because I don't know what, I mean, I've read, like I said, I've read numerous stuff, but it would have been better if they just cancelled it at season 4. It was just milking it. Now I know Sci-Fi picked it up for 2 seasons after it got cancelled on 3rd, and it's sort of like you could tell budget cuts in it and stuff. Yeah, it was just lazy writing. It was like they had an excellent writing team, but the concept of Sliders is superb. It really is, and I think everybody has a love for Sliders. I think they do. I'm a big fan of it, but I think they're screwed up on so much of this series. There is decent episodes in the later series. I mean, there's a lot of politics in the background behind this series. There really is. It's all on Wikipedia. Have a look around. I'm not going to like go into all that because there's so much. But for me, that when you create something that's a gem, and it's got the potential to be one of the greats, and Sliders. Now, I know I do could have been a classic, but that's a different format. That's something that could have been a classic. Sliders is a classic Sliders establishes itself in the 1st season. It's already a classic by the 1st season and 2nd season, and then it all went halfway through the 3rd season. It went shits up. And it's not, you know, such potential for it could have been one of the greatest TV series ever. I think Sliders, you could have had a simple story. I mean, the story arc was simple. You add things into it like villains, the Cro-Mags, and every week you keep the what if thing going every week on these different worlds. But you know, I mean, I honestly, I could have written the next 3 seasons somewhat far better. But I do love Sliders. Now John Rhys Davis was at a convention this year, and he did mention that there is interest in bringing Sliders back, which I think is fantastic. I would be up for it. But the problem, he said, they don't know who owns the rights to it. So, you know, and Jerry O'Connell's up for coming back on board as well. So I don't know, they might get some of the original. I don't know how they play it. It might be best. I mean, if they were going to bring Sliders back, do you know what they should do? Reboot it. To a point. Right? To a point. Right? That the reboot Sliders, I don't know, 20 years later or something, somebody opens sliding techno or finds his videotapes or something, a genius, or you know, and they open it up and they come into contact with them, you know, like Jerry O'Connell, and somehow he got split out of the Mallory entity, and he's on a world he stopped sliding and Wade's out, you know, because apparently she died, but I you know, you could alter it that he's still out there, and there could be contact with the new Sliders meets the older Sliders, and from there it's passing the torch. They've settled. He got back to Cro-Mag Prime, or that Earth where you know it's meant to come from. I mean, they could go. I think a reboot probably would be better. You know, but you could have the crying man in it. I love Cleveland Derricks. I think he's so good in this. He really is. But some of the stories in this series are sheer genius. The whole what if thing to it. And that's what I love about Sliders. So, you know, that's my view on Sliders. I think personally it's a classic. It is, even though it gets worse towards end. The first 2 seasons established Sliders for me. Maybe I should put it into could have been a classic, but I think it's just the first 2 seasons crack it, and the other 3 live off. The other 3 seasons live off the genius of the first 2 seasons. Look, when I had Sky, and I remember the first season of Sliders, I'm a big advertising campaign for it on Sky One. And I was intrigued, and I watched the pilot, and and I watched like every week, and I used to record them, and I watched about 6 episodes, and I was blown away. I could not get enough of this series, and this was at a time back in mid-90s where we were getting a load of science fiction. There was a lot of creativity about, and Sliders was one of them things. You know, I think it touched a lot of people. You didn't have to be into science fiction to watch Sliders, because what made Sliders work was the original 4. You know, and that pilot episode sets it all up beautifully. You know, and we did get it on DVD. I've got it here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Sliders. It's sheer genius. Thank you for the first 2 seasons at least, you know. But I am a fan of Sliders. I hope I set out some kind of vision how I would have gone with it. But I think I've covered the entire series, you know, from season 1 to 5. So guys, let me know your thoughts on this review. Let me know what you think of Sliders. It's one of the best things out there from the 90s. And it's got a massive fan base, and this is something I would like to see back on TV with the same level of writing as the first 2 seasons. So that's it, guys. I will be doing 2 videos on Friday. I'll be doing my Captain Cold outfit. I've got the gun edge, so I'm picking all that up on Thursday. I've got a Clone Trooper helmet, hopefully I should be doing that this week. And I will be doing a Could Have Been a Classic over the weekend at some point. So that's up. You're going to be you're going to love Could Have Been a Classic this week, trust me. And yeah, I will be doing a live show at 7 o'clock Sunday. I'm looking forward to that, guys. Somebody said, should we talk about what's coming next year TV wise and movie wise? So I'm digging into that at the moment, but we are open to all the usual stuff, especially the stuff where we've perused and we won't admit we've seen it, you know what I mean? The really bad stuff, but it's cool, you know what I mean? Like trances. I mean, that's just one thing. So guys, I will see you hopefully on Friday, and definitely I will be on at 7 o'clock Sunday. If you like this video, give it a like. Please subscribe, guys. Please share it. And let me know your thoughts on Sliders. If I've got anything wrong, do you know what I mean? Let me know. Live long and prosper, guys. Have a great week.